I'm Margaret Kerrigan, and this is Art Market Minute from ArtNet Pro. It's Monday, June 9th, and these are the top market stories going into the week. Amid ongoing tariff confusion in the U.S., the art trade now faces another challenge: the EU's Regulation 2019-880, which takes effect June 28th. It targets antiquities and artworks from outside the EU that are over 200 years old and worth more than 18,000 euros. And it requires importers to prove these objects were legally exported from their countries of origin, even if exported decades ago. Experts worry this shifts the burden of proof onto importers, potentially stifling legitimate trade. The regulation could mean more paperwork, delays, and costs, especially for dealers and collectors of antiquities from Asia, Africa, and the Americas. Will Corner, the head of fairs at the European Fine Art Foundation, said the regulation and its implementation do not seem to be based fully on the realities of the market. He points to another wrinkle. The importer must be registered within the EU to apply for an import license. So a UK-based dealer either needs to set up a European-based entity, or more likely find a shipper or agent within the EU to do this, or another third party, like a European collector who wants to buy the object. There's also the challenge of tracing an object's country of origin, particularly for ancient art, since records may have been lost or borders may have shifted. Art lawyers warn the regulation risks fostering suspicion rather than cooperation between countries. However, improved compliance with export controls and better preservation of provenance documentation could boost the value of some objects over time. It will also make it harder to import illicit cultural property from conflict zones. But this new regulation could accelerate a trend toward regionalism that is already taking root in the art trade by making Europe more insular, undermining decades of globalization. You know it's summer in the art world when Hamptons and Idra event invites start rolling in. The Aegean is extra hot this summer, with the Museum of Cycladic Art in Athens featuring a major exhibition of Marlene Dumas, now the most expensive living woman artist at auction after the $13.6 million sale of her painting Miss January in New York last month. Meanwhile, Cyprus's first contemporary art fair, Vima, concluded a successful debut edition 2 weeks ago. And later this month, dealer Mike Egan is opening a new ramekin space in the port city of Piraeus with a show of moody moonlit paintings by the Japanese artist Daichi Takagi. A long-lost early oil painting by J.M.W. Turner, titled The Rising Squall, has been rediscovered after 150 years. Turner painted it at 17, and it was misattributed until his signature emerged during recent cleaning. Previously thought to be by a lesser-known artist, it's now expected to fetch £200,000 to £300,000 at Sotheby's London in July. The rediscovery comes amid a banner year for Turner, as exhibitions around the world mark the famed British artist's 250th birthday. That's it for this week. You can get more details on these stories on news.artnet.com. Make sure to subscribe on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever else you get your podcasts to stay up to date on the latest news in the art market. And please also take a minute to rate and review us to help others discover what we're doing. Art Market Minute is produced by Sonia Manalili and me, Margaret Kerrigan. Thanks for listening and see you next week.